Hey friends, happy Saturday. Back with another video here. I'm actually outside in the Minnesota winter. It's really beautiful on my street here, and I decided I needed to take it to the streets here because I got some good feedback on my first video from my wife, and it was, "You're too chatty." So I figured I needed to come outside and get a little cold to keep it brief because I don't have a glove on my phone hand, and my gloved hand is going to be nice and cozy, but hopefully my hand being real cold is going to help me to keep it brief. So the topic I want to address really briefly today is why I am a Christian. And rather than go about it as sort of give a testimony of my personal faith, which, I would be glad to do at some point, but that can get kind of wordy, was to pose a few questions that have been really foundational to why I am a Christian and why I have a belief in Jesus Christ as the Son of God. Maybe that's where you are at and you identify as a Christian, and these questions will sort of help you to go deeper in your faith, or at least to explore the root of them. And maybe you're not a Christian and they'll sort of stretch you to think about what you believe about reality, what your worldview really is. So the first question that I think I was really faced with and that prompted me when I was thinking was, do you believe in objective truth? Do you believe in objective truth? Are there fundamental realities? Are there truths that go beyond our subjective experience and what we can perceive about life in the world? I answer that question, yes. I do believe that there are objective truths about the world that are intelligible and go beyond ourselves and our experiences. I believe humans all desire very similar things. I believe that we all have a desire for something that is greater than the world can offer. And I believe that there are realities even as fundamental as math, as beauty in nature, as just the incredibleness of nature and the fact that we exist. I think that these are objective realities that go beyond the subjective, and that postmodernity does not answer the questions that all of us have. In fact, I think it creates more questions like, why can't I murder? Or like, why can't I just throw away all entire moral codes? I believe that morality is real and objective, and that there is objective truth that should govern the way that we live, and that the conscience is real. I'd like to talk about that more someday. Second question, do you believe in the premise of original sin? I do believe in the premise of original sin. And I think that even though a lot of people might not articulate it that in that way, that they do believe that there's something kind of off about our existence, right? About the way that we relate to other people and the way that we relate to ourselves. What do I mean by that? I mean that to me, it doesn't make sense, for instance, that mothers can't love their children perfectly, right? Fathers can't love their children perfectly. Why, for instance, do I get upset or jealous at my friends, right? I'm supposed to love my friends. That doesn't really make sense to me a lot of the time. And I think that one of the big sort of pieces of this is that one of my friends described it as a lot of life we sort of live with sort of a joint out of place. Like we have this shoulder that's just dislocated constantly within our hearts, within our souls. And every once in a while, there's a moment where you sort of see an act of pure love or sacrifice, and you can sort of feel the joint snap back into place. And you just realize that there's something kind of off about reality, about the way that humans relate to each other, about the sort of naturalistic explanation. I just don't accept, for instance, that these are all purely evolutionary instincts within me to be selfish and to spurn other people, that I'm just a creature, I am a creature, but that I'm just a creature who is sort of, just driven by my own self-preservation, right? I think that there's more to reality than that, and that's why I think that the premise of original sin is really explanatory for reality. And then the third question, and obviously the most important, but do you believe that Jesus Christ was the Son of God? Maybe a corollary to that. Do you believe that he rose from the dead? Do you believe that Jesus Christ rose from the dead? I think that is really the most important question that we can ask, because that is really the crux of the Christian faith. We get caught up so much, I think, in sort of the morals and the questions of Christianity. We get stuck in the weeds, and that's good, right? Because we need to investigate those questions. But at the end of the day, one of my old friends would say, why would I ever get up early on a Sunday if that man didn't rise from the dead? If Jesus Christ is not who he says he is, then I shouldn't have to I shouldn't have to make any of the moral claims of Christianity. I should look for another explanation, or I should just reject Christianity outright. But if we explore the historicity of the claims of Jesus, if we explore the foundations of the church, and we find it credible, I find it very credible. I actually find it astounding and compelling, the fact that Christianity grew from 12 disciples into the hundreds of millions and now billion Christians that live, that this tradition has continued, despite the fact that humans have this original sin premise, that they have this self-preservation. It's really shocking to me. And the fact that, a relationship with a person is what drives that. And we found in human psychology that is the only thing that can drive real profound change in people's lives, is a relationship with a person, such as, in AA, that I think that the premise that we have to have a relationship with Jesus Christ, and that really does change people. It opens up their world, and that we can find historical evidence for Jesus, historical evidence for the church being an incredible institution that has persisted through 2 millennia. That is something that I feel like even if we are to dismiss, say, the reality, like the lived experience of the church today, there's corruption, there's all of these different things, true. But still, looking at the entire course of the Christian church through history, from its inception, and to include the Old Testament saga of Israel, it's a wild story that I think that deserves at least our questioning and our interrogation, if not our full assent and belief. So, just to sum it up, those 3 questions. Do you believe in objective reality? Good question to ask yourself. Do you believe in objective reality, or do you believe in a subjective reality that is determined by you? Do you believe in the premise of original sin? Do you believe that humans have this fatal flaw that needs correcting through a relationship with a higher power? And then let's just say, with that higher power, do you believe that Jesus Christ is the Son of God? Do you believe that he rose from the dead, and that his rising from the dead has everything to do with how you should live your life and how you should relate to reality? That's just sort of a start, and maybe it'll be something that will kind of get your mind going into Sunday here, the Lord's Day. I hope that if you are a Christian, that you're able to get to church and worship God, and if not, that maybe you'll be able to have a restful day and consider some of these questions, consider what the truth claims of the Christian church are. So God bless you all. I hope that you guys have a great weekend, and I will be back soon with more videos. Thanks so much, and have a great night.